Hi, I'm Ray. If you like root beer as much as I do, you're in the right place. This is Ray Reviews Root Beer. Now before I get to the review, a little trivia in the history of root beer. I've told you before that Charles Hires began the first commercial brand of root beer in 1875. But it was in 1876 that he took his recipe to the Philadelphia Centennial Exposition. So it was 100 years that the United States had been around and they were having a big party, and he was giving out samples of his drink. He decided to call it root beer instead of root tea so that it would have more appeal to all of the miners and hard-working people attending the exposition. They didn't care about tea so much as beer, so he marketed to them as an alternative to beer that he called root beer. Now, today's root beer, I'm interested in trying quite a bit. I picked this one out. I don't know if you can see it. It's called St. John Brewers Virgin Islands Root Beer. It's got a palm tree on the front and a little spigot sticking out, tap sticking out of the palm tree, as if to say this root beer is coming straight out of the palm tree. So I think of this as a Caribbean root beer, which I'm interested in to try, and because I'm very familiar with Caribbean ginger beers, which are very spicy and very bitter, and so I have that expectation for this, almost like a creamy ginger beer, but don't know till we taste it. I'll try. I can't find where this is brewed. If I had to guess, I would just say, all right, we'll call it brewed in Portland, Maine, but honestly I don't know. Every state actually produces a commercial root beer. Second little trivia fact for you. Every state in the United States, as well as several international companies, several companies throughout the nations of the world also produce root beer. Yep, can't find where this is produced, but its ingredients are water, cane sugar, caramel coloring. Are you noticing a pattern? Natural and artificial flavors, including wintergreen oil, anise, vanilla, spices, herbal, citric acid. So very common ingredients, but again, it all comes down to how they're blended. Without further ado, all right, I might be getting better at that. Okay, confession time. I like root beer. If you think I like every root beer I drink, you might be right. It's hard to compare them when you just enjoy root beer so much. Did you like it? Yes. Is it good? Yes. Is it better than the other ones? Oh, that's where it gets tricky. I'm not here to say if any root beer is better than another. I'll run through the criteria that you can find described in the below in the description, but I am pleasantly surprised with this one. Okay, creaminess, yes, this is a creamy root beer. I'm going to give it a 4 for creaminess because it's not the most creamy root beer I've had. I wouldn't say this is this is the creamy root beer, but it nails that, I feel. Sweetness, pleasantly sweet. I'm thinking, maybe I'll just make my criteria how many times I sip it without talking. It's like when you go to dinner and everyone's chatting, then you're like, oh, the food must not be that good if everyone's talking, but when it's dead silent and everyone's eating, then that's a real compliment to the chef. So this root beer, I don't want to stop drinking it. It is sweet. Is it very sweet? No, it's 3. I'm giving it a 3 for sweetness. Okay, spiciness. I definitely tasted the spices. Yeah, it's got a little bit more of a kick. Not a very strong kick. I'm going to give it a 3.5 for spicy. And a good 3 for bitter. So I like it. I've drinking quite a bit of it, I feel. Let me try it chilled. And now my personal opinion is I usually don't drink my root beer with ice, but I know a lot of people like chilled. I'll tell you why that is later. But, I mean, in another video. But when you add ice and in a glass, it helps it to be more foamy and taste more creamy. But when it's chilled in your mouth, it can reduce some of that spicy flavor and some of the complexity. I've got nothing to say, so that's a good thing. I'm too busy drinking. I'm happy with this root beer. When I order a root beer, I would like it to have kick like this one does. I'm going to give this one an 8 for my enjoyment. I would drink it. I would order it. Might not be my favorite, but better than most. So this is St. John's Brewers Virgin Islands root beer. Bottled I don't know where. So maybe I'll look that up and put it in the description. Thank you very much. Cheers.